Today on Suncoast View, a psychologist is helping kids learn skills that could change Suncoast schools. We'll discuss.
And a Suncoast business is making a difference in disaster relief. We'll tell you all about Shelterbox.
And the sounds of the 20s come roaring back at the Florida Studio Theater. We'll get a preview. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
And welcome everyone to the show. Stephanie is off today, but I'm happy to be here with you.
I'm happy you're up here too.
Thank you, and I'm happy to be here when Jeffrey Kin is here.
I'm happy to be here too.
Welcome.
I'm happy to be here too.
I'm always happy when you're here.
We're all glad to be here.
Everybody's happy.
Yes, it's important. You know, I know we're all a little bit nervous about what's happening with Irma, with Hurricane Irma right now. So it's nice to be together right now.
Right.
And we're going to talk a little bit about different ways that you can be prepared.
Of course.
Jeffrey, I know that it meant some change of schedule for the Players Center.
Well, we had a busy weekend planned at the theater. We had a reading series, we had auditions, we have the Crucible running right now. So we decided really to just curtail the whole thing. We are closing our production of Crucible on Friday instead of Sunday. So, and then everything else got canceled and moved just to be safe. You know, you don't want people being out and about if they don't need to be. And so we wanted to be conscientious of our patrons and our actors and our volunteers. And
that's smart.
So yeah, you know, sometimes you need to be proactive and make some tough choices.
Sure.
And closing the show a little bit early is not a big deal in the scheme of things.
Sure.
Better safe than sorry is what they say.
Agreed, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, we've heard some other things that will be closing, so keep an eye on mysuncoast.com for a full list of other events and businesses that will be closed. But
And enjoy the day. We may look back and say, oh, I wish I had a day just like that one again.
It's true. You know, the weather, we never know what's happening with the weather. So
Well,
take
it's
the
always
day.
really nice weather right before a storm. You guys ever notice that?
It's true.
So,
So
maybe
you'll
perfect
appreciate
day to
it.
hang
That's
out.
where that's, you know, the calm before the storm, that's
Yeah.
where that came from.
Yes. Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but as I, you know, I do have a little nerves, so I've been eating a lot. There's been a little bit of stress eating, and luckily I can continue that. With our good friend Chef Judy is here to calm us down, and she has a wonderful best of today. Judy, tell us what we can look forward to.
I do. Believe it or not, there is a day called National Best Food That You Personally Like.
Nice.
So, being that I love you guys, and I'm happy to be here with all of you being so happy, and in storm preparedness, they can watch my noon segment I did and how to inventory your freezer and what are the best things to cook in advance. But for now, I have done some research, thank you Joey and Matt, and I have each one of our favorite pickings of where to get the best, whether it's comfort foods or salads or pizza. And Joey, I just have to call you out. I love you, Joey, but when it came to you, you wrote a turkey wrap. And I wrote back to you, I love you, Joey, and I will make you my own homemade turkey wrap, but I'm not doing a segment,
segment.
on the
About
best
turkey
turkey wrap. So we got you to go out of your box and a little less healthy, and I appreciate that.
That is hilarious.
Everyone else's answers were so specific, and then I looked at mine and I thought, well, I think I just really wanted a turkey wrap the day that you asked.
See, that's what I was going for.
I was
So,
in the
dude,
mood.
I got you covered for 364 other days out of the year. But for your best favorite food national holiday, we're going a little bigger.
You know, my favorite food, I didn't want to admit it in public,
Oh.
barbecued potato chips and kosher pickles.
Oh.
I love that.
Are you
That's
pregnant?
Now she tells me.
Can we just talk about the fact you didn't want to admit it in public, so you just
Why?
told
I
us?
think you just told everyone.
Yeah, you want to tell Judy, you should tell everybody.
I just would have had the backup, but I kind of like what you picked, Linda.
I went to Publix last night and I bought some.
Eating
So
chips.
I am stocked for 5
Food
days.
is so important during the stress time. Don't worry about the calories right now. Potato chip sales will increase 500%. Have a bag or
That
two
was
right
me
now.
at Publix.
I
And
was
your
at Publix.
Special K, Linda.
I was at Publix with the big box of wine.
Oh,
I got my.
There you
Remember we
go.
talked about the boxes of
Smart.
wine before.
Yes,
so,
yes.
And
Yeah.
chocolate.
They
You're a
didn't
big-
sell out of wine, did they?
No, I don't think so. Everyone was
Only
in the water
water.
aisle.
I am going to brush my teeth with my wine if I need to.
Well, there
Use
was no
white
carts.
wine,
That's really
Jeffrey.
hard.
Yeah, I mean, we have talked, and I know that the news has talked a lot about this. There has been a little bit of social hysteria about water and gas, and you know, I experienced it. I went to Publix, and everyone was about to start fighting each other, and then the Publix workers came out with more pallets of water. So it's, you know, It's good to be prepared, but don't make yourself nervous.
Yeah, but I got gas, and people were just cutting in front of each other.
Yeah.
There was a long line. People were angry.
I almost saw a fist fight at the gas station yesterday. A man almost fought a car full of 2 women.
Wow.
And I thought, number one, they're going to win. But number 2, it's gas, and this is 4 or 5 days ahead.
And I think people just need to realize that at this point there's not much we can do. We are literally at the mercy of the storm.
Yeah.
So all we can do is be prepared, and to be prepared, you don't have to kill another person.
Right.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And reach out to those people that are on their own, or your neighbors that you maybe haven't talked to in a while. I mean, I got a lot of stress from my single friends who are going through this on their own, like myself, So there's something to be said about reaching out to people around
That's
you.
a good point. And, we talked about this yesterday on the show, but just make sure wherever you get your news, it is from a reputable source. Because there is a lot of information, and people's neighbors are telling them what to do.
We'll be here.
Yeah, we will
We're
be here.
here.
And we're going to talk a lot more about different ways that you can be prepared coming up later on in the show. Well, it is time for our first hot topic. And a local psychologist is teaching Suncoast kids and teens how to deal with some tough situations. And now the school district has approved a new program that could help. The program's called Social Black Belt, and it's by Dr. Christopher Cortman. It was originally created for adults, but he soon realized that it was just as applicable to teens, and it was vital to their emotional health. It's all about controlling their emotions in situations that cannot be controlled. Very timely for us.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
And creating your own feelings in spite of this. I love this program, and I know we've talked in the past about having life lessons in school is just as important as some of the other subject matter.
Yeah, because that guy that was about to beat up the 2 old ladies, for one thing, he was going to get hurt. Right?
That would have been
If
life
he didn't get hurt, he might go to jail. But if he's out doing something nice for somebody else, in the end, he feels good. Just for himself, he feels better.
I've noticed when we were younger, we would experience a lot of ups and downs. There were days where we would, have arguments with our friends, and days we would have different things. And I think now, there's not as much interaction with the younger generation because they spend so much time in their face, in a computer, on a text message, or whatever they're doing. So because of that, I feel like they're missing, not that they don't get any of them, but I think they're missing some of the life skills that we learned. And I think you have to put it back some way. So having a program like this helps them figure out how to deal with, certain things.
What does it actually do? I mean, what does he say that we're supposed to do? Is it mindfulness? Is it
a lot of
It's a
mindfulness? It's
combination.
based in things like that. It's really more of a life skills, but it is about dealing with emotions when they feel like they're out of your control.
I see. So speaking, like if there's an issue, speak to that person.
Like using your words and,
your
being able to process it without the anger. It's like a whole, like
It's a whole program.
Don't project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It
Your
is a
issues on
large
someone else.
curriculum that hits a lot of things,
Oh,
and
wow.
schools are embracing it. I can tell you, as someone who waited until his 30s and some good therapy to try to undo some bad habits, I can only think of the positives of trying to get these skills in before you form bad habits, because they form as a child.
You need them regardless of who you are. All of us need some of these skills to manage our day-to-day interactions with other people.
I love seeing that. I saw an article about a group of kids, instead of having a timeout, they meditate. So they're little kids on their mats. They're like in the 2nd or 3rd grade. So instead of being scolded, they meditated. And it made them feel better, and it just created, again, better habits for when things go wrong.
We're
in a
actually
situation.
talking very much about that coming up a little later on.
awesome.
It's a great topic.
Wow,
Obviously, it's a
excellent.
hot one.
Great segue.
Yeah.
All right, well, changing gears a little bit, actor and comedian Aziz Ansari has taken a drastic approach to the curbing his internet addiction problem. He just doesn't use it. The master of none star says that he deleted all social media, all email apps, all web browsers from his phone, making him completely cut off from the internet. He went on to say that he was addicted to the idea of seeing anything new, checking for a new Instagram post or even a new political article, and it never really satisfied him. If something is really important, the actor says, he would hear about it through other avenues, instead of being bombarded with the fluff you get on a news feed. All right. It's a nice idea. Do you think this is a nice approach, or is he not really living in a reality?
Well, this is the way we live today, but I think you have to know what is real. I feel like getting your news on Facebook is like getting it from the National Enquirer. It tells you that some couple just broke up or just killed each other or something, and then you find this is an ad to get you into buying something. So that makes me so angry. So we've got to make sure the source is everything in news.
I like the concept of what if he's doing, but I don't believe in overcorrecting.
Yes.
You know, you can't go from one extreme to the next extreme. There's somewhere in the middle where you can say, okay, I'm just going to maybe limit my time to an hour or two a day, something like that. But, you know, to not at all be on social media, I feel like he's going to have more issues than...
Yeah, I think that's like my grandparents would say, oh, I'm not going to ride in those newfangled cars. I'm going to stay with a horse and buggy.
But there is something about knowing what you do and what you like, and then knowing, like, for example, I used to have my work emails come to my phone, and I would get up in the morning, and the first thing is work email, and I found that I was miserable for the first half hour, so I took my emails off my phone.
That's smart.
I mean,
and now you have another avenue to check them.
Now I'll deal with them at work.
That's smart.
But I don't think we all have the luxury. I mean, this is also a celebrity who probably has a team of publicists, so he doesn't have to look at things, and they can let him know, oh, by the way, there's an earthquake coming. Or, by the way, you know, there's an important event happening.
But moderation is the key, I'm thinking.
I mean, I've tried this. Well, I kind of implemented it in a less extensive way than he's doing. But I run into the problem where people expect you to answer your phone on a regular basis.
Right.
They expect you to answer email within a certain amount of time or a text message. So then it's a backlash of it. Why is it taking you 3 hours to answer something that should have been, you know, but it's a balance.
And
I
you've
haven't
trained
found
them.
it.
Yeah, you had trained people that they can hear back from you in that soon, and I like the fact that you're making efforts to kind of...
Because it was
tried.
Joey's email that you didn't answer.
Well, no, like for instance, this morning I was on my way to work and I was, you know, there was a lot of traffic on the road, but I had my phone in my purse. And I said, I don't care how many times I hear it go off, I'm not going to take it out.
Smart.
So by the time I got to work, I had missed his text message, which would have been, you know, important. But, you know, so it's like a balance you have to find, and I don't know if I've quite figured that out
No,
yet.
that's true, and driving while texting is never good. So, I mean, I applaud.
I get it, but still, you know, you needed a response.
Yeah, sure. Well, just don't go Aziz Ansari at me.
Pull up.
Yeah, really. Boundaries.
All right, well, Jeffrey, one Hollywood actor, you're going to love this, is starting a big campaign to end bullying in the new school year. But he'll be able to experience it firsthand because he's going back to school, too. It's child star Jacob Tremblay, who took to social media with the help of fellow kid actors like Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things to spread awareness for the Choose Kind campaign. And they're passing it along to more of their friends. I like this story because it's easy for us to say kids should be nicer to their friends and at school, but it's another thing hearing it from another kid who's actually doing it, and it's what they're thinking. What do you think of this?
I think those kids are going to be so bullied. Because they're very
You're gonna
different.
pick on those little kids?
Yeah, they're very different than their friends. And from what I remember in school, kids don't like other kids that are different.
They don't. Kids don't like things that are different.
Yeah.
But it takes that person that is a popular or influential in the little kid circle to say, hey, don't treat other people like this.
That's what I like. Instead of, you know, I don't mean to pick on Justin Bieber, but instead of being another YouTube kid sensation, these kids are actually taking their fame and trying to put it towards something positive. I just thought this was a nice, cozy.
But don't you think the part of the joy of kids is that they kind of say what they mean and they do what they, you know, I mean, there is something great about being childlike where they say what they're thinking.
I think that shows we need to work more on our natural attitudes, because I'm around a lot of little kids and they do say what they think.
And it's
And
great.
It's mean.
Well,
Sometimes it's mean.
But I think this goes back to what we were saying earlier about kids learning how to deal with ups and downs in just society. You know, we tend to shelter them. You don't want anyone to be offended. You don't want anyone to be sad.
Wow.
But I think these are when you learn, not saying that bullying is good, but you learn how to deal with some of these things at an early age so you know the appropriate response as
And that's
you get
a
older.
great point. This is under the conversation of bullying in schools, which is such a problem. And for kids to let other kids know that being kind is always a choice, I love this. I think I don't think we could have enough of this, and I still think they'll say what's on their mind, and it'll surprise us.
I'm sure.
We'll see. We'll wait 15 years.
Those darn things those kids say. Darn it.
All right, well, on some lighter news, the award-winning Broadway revival of Hello, Dolly has announced who will succeed Bette Midler in the title role of Dolly. And for many Broadway fans, this is great news. Tony-winning actress Bernadette Peters will begin performances on January 20th. Actor Victor Garber, who many might recognize from the hit show Alias, he will play Bernadette's leading man. He's going to take over for David Hyde Pierce, who many would know as Niles from the hit show Frasier. So, you know, I'm a huge Broadway fan, and Bernadette Peters stepping in, this is great news to me. I was excited about
I love her.
Cha-ching,
Awesome.
cha-ching,
Yes.
cha-ching. That's a great replacement for Bette.
Lovable Cupid doll with, you know, a little bit of spice and a little
with-
sex appeal.
She's
I
got
think
some
she's
guts
great.
going for her. Yeah, we like her. She's spicy.
And very popular here on Suncoast. I know when she's played the Van Wezel, she always does very well. So that was good news. Yes.
Life is good.
Life is good.
If we make it through Irma.
Yes. All right, well, we're going to check on the weather forecast, and when we come back, we're going to find out how the Suncoast is helping hurricane victims.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan at the First Alert Weather Center, and we continue to watch this very dangerous hurricane make its way just near Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. It has just passed north of those islands now and heading off toward the west, and currently this system is still with winds at 185 miles an hour, and it looks as though we will continue to see that wind stay fairly strong, although it's looking a little ragged on the south edge right there. As a result of some shear going on because of the mountains. Now, as we continue to watch this system, it will continue to push off toward the east, I should say toward the west, northwest, and then eventually make a turn more toward the north. Now, when that turn occurs, is going to be a big deal in the long run. Now, as far as the islands go, you can see them quite clearly. The Puerto Rico is now getting hammered and also heading off toward Dominican Republic and Haiti at this point. More coming up at 5. See you then.
We're all anxiously watching the path of Hurricane Irma. However, Houston is still dealing with the devastating flooding of Hurricane Harvey. And some Suncoast-based businesses have jumped in to help. Kim Livinggood from the Eclipse Agency is here to tell us what they're doing. All right, so Kim, you know, before we get into Harvey, of course, these plans were made well before we heard about Irma. So if we needed help here, you know, what do you think will be done?
Here's the thing about our community, and I've lived here a long time. We have more nonprofits than any other community that I know of, and they're all supported.
Wow.
Our community, I feel wholeheartedly I can say this, we step up all the time, whether it's for our neighbors in our backyard or our friends in another state. I'm really proud to be a part of the Sarasota community.
All right, well, while we wait anxiously, tell us what is being done for our friends in other states.
So first of all, we have Fleet Feet, which is a great store here in town. It's more than a running store. They are a lifestyle shop, and they have 160 locations throughout the country. It's a franchise. And they decided as an entire organization that they're going to collect shoes for Houston. So any Fleet Feet location, you can drop off your new or gently used shoes, and they're shipping it off to their stores in that area where they'll distribute it. And they've already collected hundreds of shoes, and they're going to be doing that now until September 10th.
Okay, that's really good.
And these are people that are like living underwater in some cases. So this is, you know, shoes.
They've lost
are
everything.
I mean,
luxury,
you see, you know, the video footage of people having to leave their homes and they're barefoot, and so shoes they're important.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. All right, speaking of another important thing, blood.
The blood bank. So Suncoast Blood Bank last night, I looked on their website, they had already shipped 360 units of blood to Texas. However, I believe that they need more, but they're also collecting for Florida. So it's always a good time to donate blood. There's plenty of information on their website where to go to do that.
That's great too if you're nervous about what to do. There's so much nervousness of sitting and waiting. That's something you can do right now. You can go donate blood.
And you get a cookie.
Yeah, that's yes, you get a cookie and some juice.
And you don't have to feel guilty about eating
But, you know, but that's always good because there's always a shortage in incidents like this. So you always want to donate. And what else?
And these are all easy things that we can do to be part of. And I love that these businesses are making it easy for us, and they're kind of doing the brunt of the work. Midas, if you donate $25 to the Red Cross, you can do it online or at their location. They're going to give you a free oil change. I mean, we all need that anyway. And they have 3 locations, one in Clark, Cortez, and Manatee Avenue. So who doesn't need to get an oil change on their car? So it's free.
Isn't that great that people use what they've got to help other people?
Exactly, exactly. And that Detweilers, they are doing a donation match up to $25,000. So any donation that you make, they're going to match it. But not only that, they have those large refrigerated trucks. They are going to fill them up with food, refrigerated foods, deli meats, everything that they have, and they're going to drive them up to Texas and leave them there. So there's refrigerated trucks there on site. That was really like the extra mile, going the extra step.
And to think that they were planning to do that when they heard about a state that was, you know,
miles away.
You know, you can only imagine what will happen if help is needed here.
Another one that's always helping, Tervis. Tell us what Tervis is doing.
Everybody's favorite cup. Tervis is in our backyard, but they also have stores in Texas and know the impact. So they are selling this Love Texas design. They've got it in tumblers, water bottles, mugs, and 100% of the net proceeds are going to Shelter Box USA, which is a local company here that's got boots in the ground on Texas, and they're really doing an amazing job across the country.
That is great, and also great containers for
Absolutely.
liquid.
And you can get these on Tervis.com or the 2 Tervis stores here in our area on St. Armand Circle and in Osprey.
Well, that's amazing. Thinking about it, you know, a company that has this kind of reach could sell something like that. There would be a lot of money that can go towards helping.
Absolutely.
So that's great. It's wonderful how everyone has come together in times like this when we need. So hopefully all this will continue as we go through our approaching Irma. So we'll see what happens next. Thank you so much, Kim. And then coming up next, we'll talk about how we are going to be preparing for Irma. We'll be right back.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Since 1928, Karastan has been setting the standard in carpets and rugs, producing non-allergenic wools that won't promote the growth of bacteria or dust mites like other carpets will. Karastan wools actively remove contaminants from the indoor air, making your home healthier. And there are many colors and patterns and textures to choose from. Come see for yourself.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Well, welcome back. As we have all eyes on Hurricane Irma this week, safety is of the utmost concern. So we want to make you aware of some helpful resources that could keep you safe. ABC 7 aired a hurricane special in June that was full of very helpful information before a storm. And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan spoke with Steve Getchow from the American Red Cross about some of the items that you should have in your hurricane kit at home. Let's take a look.
I brought a kit in, Bob, to show, and I'm just going to highlight a few things for the people at home. First and foremost, you need some batteries. You got to have the ability to have backup. If you don't have power, you got to have some batteries.
Yeah, and I know if you go to the store when the watch is issued, there's no batteries left.
That's not the time to do it.
So you get them before that.
You should be doing that now, using this weekend as an opportunity. A weather radio of some sort. Again, battery operated, so you have that early warning.
And I can't stress the importance of that enough, okay? So if there's a massive hurricane that comes in, electricity is shot everywhere, these things will still be broadcasting. The National Weather Service and even the EOCs from the counties can broadcast on that some important and viable information, so that's
Correct.
a great point.
The other thing you're going to need is you're going to need some things to keep yourself hydrated. So a gallon of water per person per day.
And I see that you got that empty, and that's what you should, keep it empty.
Keep it empty. You should fill it beforehand. Again, you don't want to be running to the store 2 days beforehand trying to buy this. You need to make these steps before you do that.
Right.
If you take prescription medicines, please have those available. Again, if you end up in a shelter, you end up having to leave the area, you want to make sure that you've got your proper medications.
And you got some stuff in there as well, some food, canned
food with the opening.
This is for the pets there, obviously.
We've got some pet food. We've also got some tuna. You know, again, something that you can easily open. Some backup lighting. Again, it's going to be dark. Even if you go to a shelter, sometimes those situations aren't the best. You might be not being able to see real easy, so lighting.
All right, some very helpful information, and please note that the crawl that you saw across the bottom, that was from the live special in June, so that helpline is not available, but the hurricane special is. ABC 7 will be re-airing the hurricane special Thursday at 4 p.m. You can also see the entire special online at mysuncoast.com/weather. There's also a hurricane guide that offers some great information. I just went over it again yesterday, and there's just all those little things that you might forget. You can download that for free as well. And so many pet owners I know have concerns. Earlier this summer, Mark Shambor from Canine Corral, he went over a checklist of things you should think about to keep your pets safe during a storm. Let's take a look.
We need food and water, of course, and that's a packaged meal for an average-sized dog. It's sealed, so you don't have to worry about the kibble getting wet. Also, we have a bucket here. It's a sealed bucket, and with that bucket, you can put all your hurricane supplies in the bucket. And there's food portions on the top. That's 3/4 of a cup per portion. So you can put your food and your water in each one of those if you choose to do so.
So you don't have to worry about, you know, trying to get the portion size or getting another bucket or getting another item.
Having to have a cup and, I know you need your vaccination record too. You can't get into the shelters here unless you have one when you take your dog.
Definitely, you need your vaccination record. You need any information of the dog, anything pertaining to the dog. Also, I always recommend that you take a picture with your dog also.
Yes.
Have it physical, have it on your phone also, but your phone might get lost. Medications are very important to have for your dog, and you may want to list those as well, including in case you get separated. There's different things, you know, you got first aid, I've got a sweater on him, you want a sweater.
So plan, the same way you would plan for the rest of the family.
Important information, and now is certainly the time to do it. We also want to let you know, in preparation for Hurricane Irma, Animal Rescue Coalition will hold a vaccine and microchip clinic on Thursday, September 7th from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, no appointment is necessary. They will not be offering any other services at this time, cash and credit payments, but they will be doing these vaccinations and microchipping for your pet for $10 each, which is a discounted price. So important, you know, all stuff to do. Now is the time to do it. And remember that you can get up to the minute updates on Hurricane Irma and current weather conditions across the Suncoast by downloading the ABC 7 Weather and News app. Once you download the apps, you'll get updates on the forecast, breaking news, local stories, all right to your phone. Well, coming up next, we're going to find out what Shelterbox USA, located right here on the Suncoast, is doing to help those in need.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089. I am a veteran. My victory was finding the strength to be a champion.
My victory is having a job I can be proud of.
At DAV, we help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
My victory was finishing my education.
My victory was getting help to put our lives back together.
DAV provides veterans with a lifetime of support.
My victory is being there for my family.
Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
And welcome back to Suncoast View. Chef Judy is in the kitchen today, and she's celebrating the Pick Your Favorite Food holiday by choosing our favorite food selections from across the Suncoast. So, Judy, I want to put you on the spot here. There's so much great food here on the Suncoast. What do you think is a Suncoast favorite?
Well, I don't know if I can identify one particular, but I'll tell you for sure the theme, and that's Italian. We recently had 6 new Italian restaurants throughout the Suncoast, but wait, there's more. There's going to be 4 more coming in the next 9 months.
Wow.
When we first moved down to Sarasota, we were flooded with Italian and Italian only, no ethnic. Now it's a resurgence, so get ready, and it's your basic, your spaghetti and meatballs and your pizza pie.
Oh, nice. Well, we can't wait to see what you have picked out for us from our favorites later on in the show. But first, we'll check in with Linda.
It's estimated that more than 43,000 Houston residents had to leave their homes and go to evacuation shelters. But one of the major relief groups helping those people is the Suncoast-based humanitarian organization called ShelterBox. Let's take a look at when Christine Alexandra joined us last year to tell us what that relief entails.
Now, Chris Alexandra, you're the communications director, and this company is really important to a lot of people, especially going back a couple years ago when there were disasters. So tell me, what is ShelterBox?
So ShelterBox is an international disaster relief charity that provides emergency shelter to survivors of natural disaster or humanitarian crisis anywhere in the world. And the headquarters is here in Lakewood Ranch, the U.S. headquarters, but we have affiliate offices all over the world.
All right.
You guys do an amazing job.
Yeah, and what makes you unique? Because I'm seeing, this is some video from Haiti back when they had the earthquake. What are we seeing here?
So that was after the 2010 earthquake in Haiti. That was a devastating disaster and one of ShelterBox's largest responses. We provided about 1/3 of all of the tented shelter after that disaster in Haiti. And there are people that are still living in those tents to this day, 6 years after the disaster.
And every one of those tents came in that box.
Yeah, so let's talk about the box. So what is the box and what's in it?
So that's our iconic shelter box. It's a large green box that houses tented shelter and other life-saving equipment like a water filtration system, solar lighting, a children's activity packet, blankets, bed sheets, pots and pans, basically everything you would need if you had just lost your home and everything in it. Our boxes can be tailored to every disaster. Every disaster is different and requires different responses.
Oh.
So we can switch out the aid depending on what's needed. We also offer a shelter kit, which is basically a large toolkit, heavy-duty tarps, rope, all the fixings you would need to either watertight and secure your home or help clear out the rubble or manufacture a brand new home.
Oh, wow. That's very important for a lot of people that lose their home and, you know, are in a situation where they don't have any options.
Indeed.
Tell us a bit. I have a question about some of the things sitting in front of you. That one in particular.
Yeah.
It looks like a pillow, but it's obviously got some kind of reflector on it. What is that, and why is that important?
Yeah, so this is the Luminate solar light, and it packs flat, but it inflates, and it offers a diffused light.
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
So it's great for reading, it's great for nighttime security, lots of uses. You can lash it to the front of the tent or to wherever you need it. It recharges by sunlight, and it offers a 10 to 18 hour charge depending on
Wow.
which light it
That's
is.
really neat.
And over
That
here.
is. And yeah, let's go through some of the other things. So you said a water filtration system.
Yeah, that's a water filtration system that'll filter out 99% of all of the pathogens and viruses in the water. It's pretty easy to use. You just pour it in, and it filters about 10,000 liters of water.
Even to things like cholera, because I know that's a huge concern right now in Haiti.
Yeah, that was a problem after the 2010 earthquake. They had about 3,500 cases of cholera, which had never happened before in Haiti.
Right.
And that's a big concern after this disaster.
Yeah, they're already talking about it.
Help them set them up. If I got this big green box, I wouldn't have any idea what to do with it.
Yeah, so one of the reasons that ShelterBox is so successful is our volunteer network. And a large segment of those volunteers are the ShelterBox response team.
Okay.
These are men and women that take vacation time to actually deploy to a disaster site and deliver ShelterBox aid. And they work with community leaders to kind of train the trainer. So it's not just our team setting up hundreds of tents. They get the community involved, and the community learns how to set these camps up, and they kind of help themselves.
Well, you mentioned people, but are there things other people can do to help?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're privately funded, and so we have a 4-star rating from Charity Navigator, a gold rating from GuideStar, very transparent with the money, and so people can donate at shelterboxusa.org. We also have a large volunteer network across the U.S., so I would encourage people, if they want to have a hands-on involvement, they can volunteer with ShelterBox. I started as a volunteer. And then share our news stories on social media. We bring a lot of attention to what's happening in Haiti. We have teams on the ground there, and we'll have more photos and information as time goes on.
Headquartered right here on the Suncoast, which blows my mind every time.
And I know this, we're talking about life-saving things, but I do want to also mention that you also are focusing on some of the kids that are left without their homes and not have things to do, and you have one of the little ShelterBox kits for them that includes crayons and markers and things that they can actually do to kind of keep them like busy during the time of, you know,
because it's so hard for the parents.
Yeah.
They need the children to be entertained. And the kids need that to forget the terrible circumstances around them.
So, you know,
Absolutely.
just the little things, all the little things I think that matter. Of course, you know,
And
the
the
shelter is
things,
more
like a
important,
roof.
but this, you never know how a kid would just appreciate a coloring book. So,
Absolutely.
you know, thank
to
you.
have your whole world delivered in a box like that from Lakewood Ranch, that's amazing.
Thanks, Kristen. For more information about ShelterBox, you can find them online. Next, Florida Studio Theater previews their latest show.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what we're working on right now for 5 o'clock. A state of emergency declared for all of Florida and several areas here on the Suncoast. The local counties are helping those who may be having trouble getting to a safe place. And for those planning to stay in the area through the storm, you may have trouble getting all the supplies that you need. We'll find out where you can find them. Get a check on the weather now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Yeah, this dangerous storm continues to cause all sorts of problems in the U.S. and British Virgin Islands right now and near Puerto Rico. Still at 185. We're waiting for the new advisory to come out here just shortly. The forecast path, as you've heard, has tracked a little bit further off to the east, but still with the center line moving right into Miami as a Category 4 hurricane, a very dangerous Category 4, and even we are still in that cone of uncertainty. However, it's less likely now that we're going to see the hurricane force winds. We'll have more coming up at 5.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
Tell me how the day unfolds. Traffic fast, traffic slow. It's feeling
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
The Roaring '20s were full of flappers, fun, and great jazz music. And the Florida Studio Theater is celebrating that music in their musical cabaret, Roar, the Music of the 1920s and Beyond. Here from the cast is Carol Bufford and Michael Maschie. Take it away, guys.
After you've gone and left me crying, after you've gone, there's no denying. You feel blue, you feel sad, you miss the bestest pal you ever had. There'll come a time, now don't forget it, there'll come a time when you regret it. Someday when you grow lonely, your heart will break like mine and you'll want me only after you've gone away. Now won't you listen, honey, while I say, how could you tell me that you're gone away? Don't say that we must part. Don't break your baby's heart. You know I loved you for these many years. I loved you night and day. Oh, honey, baby, can't you see my tears? Listen while I say, after the breakup, you're gonna wake up and you will find that you were blind to let somebody come and change your mind. Oh, after the years that we've been together, through all the years and all kinds of weather, oh, baby, think what you're doing. I'm gonna haunt you so, I'm gonna taunt you so, it's gonna drive you to after you've gone, yes, after you've gone away.
Whoa!
I like the words to this song.
Wow, that is awesome. That music is almost 100 years old and is still popular.
That's right. I know. It's incredible. This music, well, it was written by some of the best, of course, all of the great composers, but the themes are still completely relevant today. Everyone's been in love and had their heart broken, so.
And we know all the words. That's right. So how did you get involved? You don't remember this music, Carol.
Well, when I was 8 years old, my grandmother and her sister taught me how to Charleston on her living room rug. And I immediately fell in love with all of the music and, you know, the idea of a flapper. It just sounded so very glamorous. So I've been singing this music since I was teeny tiny.
And this whole thing is just perfect for the space at Florida Studio Theater's Cabaret.
Oh, absolutely. That beautiful proscenium they have, I could not have picked a better space to do a 1920s musical.
Well, it sounds great. We all want to hear more from you. Roar, the 1920s and Beyond, is at the Florida Studio Theater through September 24th. For more information, go to their website. We want to hear more from you. We'll be right back, but first, would you sing us to break? We want more of that music.
I'd love to. Thank you.
If I could be with you 1 hour tonight, if I was free to do the things I want you to know that I wouldn't go until I told you, honey, that I love you so. If I could be with you, I'd love you long. If I could be with you, I'd love you strong. I'm telling you true, I'd be anything but blue if I could be with you.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline. If you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death, you must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Because my parents told me I have to be responsible.
Because my first coach told me, you can do this.
Because my boss showed me how to do a good job.
Because my teacher helped me see the choices.
I'm swimming faster than I ever dreamed.
I am a valuable employee.
I discovered that I could work as an artist.
I will be whatever I want to be.
Youth with disabilities should grow up expecting to work and succeed. For more information, visit whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
You might feel like there's too many problems in the world, or that, you as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old can't really make a difference.
It's not always about you. It's not just one person. It's a group. It's a team.
Just that simple act is transforming someone else's life.
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
I'd do anything to convince you just to be a part of this.
All right, well, it's time to set your DVRs because Dancing with the Stars has announced the cast of stars for their 25th season. I teased last month that Property Brothers' Drew Scott and WWE's Nikki Bella would be part, and we were right. Joining those two are 80s pop star Debbie Gibson, now Deborah, and 90s singer Nick Lachey from 98 Degrees. We can also look forward to actor Frankie Muniz of Malcolm in the Middle. Shark Tank's Barbara Corcoran. It'll be interesting to see her dance. Former Paralympic athlete Victoria Arlen and former NFL player Terrell Owens. The new season will premiere Monday, September 18th, right here on ABC7. They announced the cast Wednesday morning on Good Morning America.
Wow.
Yes.
I saw that. I'm excited. I love that show.
A good balance.
I like it.
So we'll pick our favorites. Well, from the stars of the dance floor to the stars of the Suncoast kitchens, we are heading into the kitchen where Chef Judy has our favorite foods.
When severe weather strikes, trust ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it
using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Totoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at the top of the hour. Families from South Florida looking to get out of the state ahead of Hurricane Irma, but the interstate may not be your best evacuation route. And taking a look at Suncoast Traffic Watch right now, we're seeing major backup on I-75 in the northbound lanes as a lot of people are trying to get out of the state or to safer areas out of South Florida. You can see red on the map from State Road 681, the Venice Connector, all the way north of State Road 64 in Manatee County. Now back over to Bob for another look at our forecast.
Well, we are still watching, obviously, a very dangerous hurricane make its way west toward Florida right now. The winds are still at 185 miles an hour. That may go down a little bit because it's getting some shear on the western edge, but unlikely. It's going to stay as a major hurricane all the way through the next 5 days. You'll notice the cone has shifted to the east, although we are still in that cone of uncertainty. We'll have the complete details of what we can expect coming up at 5.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Attention blood thinner users. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The widely prescribed blood thinners Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to a number of dangerous side effects, including internal bleeding, gastrointestinal bleeding, kidney bleeding, stroke, brain hemorrhaging, and even death. If you or a loved one suffered any of these injuries after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with your pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
And welcome back. We're here in the kitchen with Chef Judy, and these are a few of my favorite things.
That's right. I know, somewhere between sounding like Julie Andrews.
Exactly.
And you know,
raindrops on roses.
What a hard thing, at least for me, to define one thing.
Yeah.
You know, I think the person that was the clearest definition was probably Linda. This easiest was Joey's, but we walked that back and got some new. The most elegant, of course, was Bo Beth. And Jeffrey, I kind of got to agree with Jeffrey's picks and why.
Yeah.
So let's take a stroll to the island, shall we say, and go to Tommy Bahamas. This is a national award-winning coconut shrimp. Linda has picked coconut shrimp as her very, 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 very favorite. And Linda, they have it in St. Armand's. And you know what? Their coconut shrimp is just divine with that lovely sauce that they have. And the crispy cabbage, so it blends it all in. So Linda, you go have a piece of shrimp. This is what we do for my birthday.
This
is, well, I thought it was Special K on your birthday. That's my closet food.
Okay,
now
I got it.
Okay,
that's
I got you. So you can go ahead and start to tuck in to your favorite food because we celebrate you, Linda,
where to start.
And you're so polite. I just have my hands all over it, right?
Look at
so
that.
I know they're
breakfast, lunch, and
jumbo,
dinner
and they're jumbo. So enjoy.
Oh boy. Oh my goodness.
It looks like your birthday cake.
Right? I know. That is.
Oh, and they did bring their cake too. You didn't mention that.
They did bring their Tommy Bahama's infamous pineapple coconut cake, which is the ultimate dessert. Since you like coconut, I thought you deserved a little cake.
Wow.
Now,
yes,
Jeffrey.
Yes.
Lasagna.
Comfort food.
Good
Bring
Midwestern
Good
boy.
man.
Yeah.
Really, that's right.
Yeah.
Dolce Italia, this divine little Italian restaurant in Gulfgate. If you haven't gone, please go soon. Lovely chef owner from the island of Ischia, and she makes a lasagna with the homemade bechamel cream sauce and the bolognese sauce and the fresh mozzarella and imported aged Parmesan cheese. So Jeffrey.
Yes.
Dig
oh my
in.
goodness.
Go.
Seriously.
Just go, buddy.
Looks
Run
like
with that
it's going to
lasagna.
has my name written all over
Yeah, and I think because of all the homemade, the layers of flavors is just one of the best, right?
it. Yes.
Have a nice bottle of Barolo with that. And Linda, you're doing well in your coconut
still
shrimp.
loving it.
Okay.
I would do a little
about your
prosecco with this.
favorite?
Yeah.
A Prosecco, nice.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a saladaholic. And I could not limit it because I have favorite salads from favorite places. And I know this is a shout out to Stephanie Roberts because she's a salad lover too. This is the number 79 at Focali. It has won every award possible from best dish to best salad. I mean, this one has lemongrass marinated steak, marinated pork, and grilled shrimp with chopped peanuts, lettuce, cold rice noodles. Now, I try to stay low carb, except for today, and I asked for them to hold the rice noodles, and they give me extra cucumber, pickled carrot, and lettuce, which is lovely and nice, sweet and sour type dressing to go on the side.
And in a big bowl, which I love.
Oh, you just toss it up and you put your face in it, and you're just like good to
You
go.
just scoop it right out. Yeah.
Now, Apollonia Grill has they have so many great salads, but this kale and orzo salad is divine. And I thought of you, Beth, with the lamb skewers, because I know you like rack of lamb. My husband's favorite is with lamb skewers. I often get it with grilled shrimp, so they were kind enough to bring me some shrimp.
On the side, wow.
And a more composed style is what Jeffrey's really liking. And this is like a meze platter, but it can eat like a salad as well. So really beautiful, fresh ingredients, souvlaki, tzatziki, hummus, so another balance. Libby's has this radicchio cauliflower salad that,
it's so good it's radicchio.
It's radicchio. I love it. It's radicchio. So now, Beth.
Yes.
My rack of lamb baby.
Yeah.
I wanted you to have the best that your heart desired. So I went to the award-winning Table Creek side, and Chef Pedro made their domestic rack of lamb grilled, excuse me, with fingerling potatoes.
It looks
They have a beautiful cranberry chutney and their own Peruvian-style pesto on the side. So you're going to get lots of different flavors, cooked a perfect medium rare, might I say.
I like Bobette's favorite.
Yeah.
Joey, are you glad I talked you out of the turkey wrap?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And of course, Apollonia, which always goes big or go home, they bring a fabulous herb-crusted rack of lamb as well. Now, Joey, I'm proud that you switched to pizza. White pizza, margarita pizza, meatball pizza. You've got it all from Cafe Barboso. Chef Joe DiMaggio says hi. Be safe, drink your wine, and everything is good if you have 3 slices of pizza
and a glass of wine.
Yes. So look at this lovely cake. I can't
Isn't
help
it
but wonder how
beautiful?
beautiful it is. But then it looks like there's been a little bit of a mouse.
I had no. Thank you, Linda Carson. Under the bus.
Rule of Suncoast View
Linda
is you
Carson.
never give away the secrets.
There was a mouse in the studio. John Scalzi taught me this years ago.
Well,
That's all I'm
Jeffrey's in trouble
saying.
for revealing the secret eating secrets.
Sorry.
Chef Judy, these were great choices. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Don't forget, take some time, enjoy the Suncoast
We'll
View.
have to
Make
do
sure
it.
stay safe. Check your local
Absolutely.
weather.